This show is proudly sponsored by TraderCobb.com, the leaders in checklist-based trading strategy. Yes, that's exactly how it sounds. I'll teach you a literal checklist so you can tick off items and be decisive very quickly. Get across to TraderCobb.com where there's a bunch of free content there for you to have a look at. And of course, if you're interested in having me come to your city, click and register for the live events coming up and filling fast. Have a great day. Visit TraderCobb.com now.
The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Trader Cobb Crypto Show. I have got a returning guest in Lisa Edwards. Now, if you don't know who Lisa is, you're not on Twitter because she's been around for quite a while doing very, very well, one of the top traders in the crypto space and somebody who I definitely respect. And that's why I've got her on to talk about the market. So thank you so much for your time today, Lisa.
Thank you for having me again. Wonderful to be here.
No, I'm looking forward to this. Obviously, we've seen Bitcoin. Mostly Bitcoin has had an absolutely Bitcoin-like run in the last few weeks. Of course, we pushed up through 10,000. Without a worry, straight up through 11, and we just kept on soldiering on. Now, of course, the high was about 13,700 or something around that sort of figure, depending on what you look at. And we have experienced a little bit of a pullback, and we seem to be struggling around about 11,000 right now. What's your view on where we're going to next from here?
Well, if we can hold this long-term support, which we're currently sort of bouncing around at the moment, then we can go up and retest that 13.7 mark. We're going to be forming, we're in a fourth wave. So that's kind of, we're going to be forming that triangle. So it's going to go up to 13.7, back down, retest support. And then at that point, we should hopefully break through and go higher again. So, but we're going to be in this general sort of trading range for probably, maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
So you think we're going to consolidate up into a resistance of the old highs with higher lows coming up into that, something along those lines?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly do.
All right. What about the other side of that potential? If we don't see this 11,000 sort of range hold, where do you think it could pull back to?
So next support after this range, we're sort of at about 10.6, 10.8 is the next support. So if that breaks, then we're going to 10.2. So we've got a few supports before we break the 10,000 range. I've seen lots and lots of charts with these Super Bear 5,000. So I don't like to do that just due to the fact that there's a lot of support and, a lot of bullish support right now in these regions and a lot of new money coming in. So BTC still has a major dominance and that hasn't dropped, and I've been following that, and our market cap continues to grow. So I don't see any issues with those regions kind of holding at the moment unless, the rug gets pulled out and, it all plummets to nothing. But I'm not seeing that right now.
Yeah, it's very hard to stop a bull market, especially in this particular market. One of the things that I use a lot of is the pullback. Like, I like to look at percentages. I like to look at the past as a future representation. Now, of course, we don't know what's going to happen, but as traders, we've got to work probabilities. And as we get further and further extended from, because we both trade in different ways, right? So you use Elliott Wave, I don't. I went into that cradle zone, and that's where I trade from. I don't use diagonal trend lines. Whereas I know you do. So there's different ways of looking at the market. One of the things that I do look at is the percentage pullbacks. Now, 2017 was a wild year. Now we would go on 6 to 15 week runs up, and those would be anything between sort of 270% to 560% from the low point. But we would see pullbacks. This is on the weekly chart, by the way.
Yeah.
Now, I'm seeing a pretty overextended weekly chart here. Now, I'm not seeing enough just yet to warrant suggesting that we may see a deeper pullback into that cradle zone. But I mean, if I look at this and extend it from the lows that we saw at the sort of end of last year, I believe it was, we've moved up 341%. It's a pretty strong move, and we haven't really seen a pullback. So as much as I don't see the pullback yet,
Yeah.
I'm really of the understanding, because most of the pullbacks that we saw throughout 2017 on the weekly was about that, called 39%, which gets us back to 8,300, right?
Yeah.
Again, not suggesting there's anything on the chart that will drive us there just at the moment, but based on those 30 to 40% pullbacks that we have seen fairly frequently, there was 3 or 4 in 2017. I am also open to that. What do you see if we can't hold 10,000? Where do you see us going back to, and based on what?
Okay, so if we can't hold 10,000, I see 8,800.
Yep.
It was a major consolidation area. So that's where we sort of sat before we broke through the 10,000.
Those old highs, they weren't they, for 2019?
Yeah. So that would need to really break, and it took a lot of money and energy to break that region. So coming back down the other way, I feel there's going to be a lot of support there.
Yeah, I can see the logic behind that. And right now, based on the way that I trade, there's actually a really nice small bullish candle. I know it's only early days. We've still got another X amount of hours. But so yeah, we go 11,000 at the moment seems to be a real level today and yesterday. We're sort of hovering in around. We haven't closed. We've closed a little bit below it, but it seems to be holding quite well. And if you consider where we sort of pulled back from, I mean, from that high that we saw on, I think it was the Sunday.
Yeah.
We back 25% from there, a good $3,500 move. And we just seem to be finding finding stability over the last 4 or 5 days around that area. So what sort of things will you be looking for if you're to get, I mean, are you trading right now as far as long or short? That's the first question.
Okay, I am out of a trade right at this moment. I'm waiting for the next candle, which at the moment we should get a retest of 11,500 and then drop back down to that support that we have been sitting on. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to see that support hold. If that support holds, then I will go long.
Okay, so you're waiting. You're not going to trade at 211.5. You're basically waiting for your planned scenario to play out, so you're in the zone, and then if it does play out, then you'll become a market participant.
Then I'll give a signal to my Discord, and we'll go and we'll take that trade. So right now, a lot of the coins like Ethereum, BSV, Litecoin, XRP are sitting within my buy zones that I've given my Discord. So I think they'll break out of those zones and they'll come back in with BTC. And at that point, I think we'll buy.
Okay, cool. Well, that's quite interesting. And look, we talk about what's going on in the market and how much it influences other external things as well. Now, I find it very interesting being obviously a trader in this space. I've traded for 13 years in other markets, but this market in particular, people seem to only want to spend if the market's going up, which is really bizarre. It is
really bizarre.
It logically doesn't make any sense. When things are down or slow, we should be learning. When things are going nuts, we should be earning. When the market's going up or down, a period of consolidation is a period for people to learn. We've just gone out and we're doing a national tour of Australia at the moment, and we've seen I can't believe how many people, and it was perfectly timed with the market. I wonder how that happened. We've been inundated with people that want to come along now. Now, if we had have done this back in January, it would have just hit the ground and we would have gone thump. It's quite amazing the emotional aspect that I see, not just through the way people talk and act and interact on Twitter, but all of a sudden we're doing a national tour to all, basically all the cities around Australia. They just come out of the woodwork and we have been absolutely slammed. What other things, so it's spending habits and emotional habits online, what other things are you seeing since the market's come back? Is there as many people that are nasty? Because there's some nasty pricks out there.
Oh, there's some really nasty ones out there. And it's like some days, depending on what's happening in the market, it's what I like to call a blockathon. So, so there's been a lot of that happening. The common question I get at the moment is, when is alt season? And I'm like, guys, it's been alt season. We've done like 200, 300% on Litecoin, on ADA, on all of these coins. It's like, where have you been? It's, it's been insane. So since January, we've been, incredible amounts of profit, and people are just going, okay, it's happening now. It's like, no, it's been happening for the last 6 months.
Yep. That's the disassociation they have with the education. So once things are going up, they want to make money, but they're not willing to invest
Yeah.
get ready for that next move to happen. I'm in the same position on that. Like we've had some phenomenal markets to trade. Like look, Litecoin was a prime example. Same with Binance. Binance was absolutely
Yeah. BNB has gone crazy. And
it was
it's
crazy,
like,
right?
yeah, Huobi have just asked me to do a TA on their coin as well, because they think that in the next 3 months that they've got some really good news coming out, and it's just going to go off like BNB has. But all of the exchange coins are a really, really good investment, because you can offset them against your fees, and it works really well.
Yeah, well, there's Binance was until recently, until Bitcoin took off, it was by far the most profitable token that I've had this year. It just ran so well, but the good thing about it was that it ran so well, but it gave a lot of entries. Like it didn't just go straight line. People, when they talk
Yeah.
about alt season, they want it to do a 10x in the space of 3 weeks. Like, no, we don't want that. We want, I mean, look, sure, I'm not going to argue with it, but
Yeah.
we want to have entry points. I want to layer positions so that I've got 10 or 12 trades on over multiple entries that will run for months. Like I don't need to jump in and make instantly big money. You've got to build a position, scale out, minimize risk, get another one. And that's how you truly build up an account to a position where you're actually in profit, but you might have 4 or 5% on one position and you're actually ahead. And I think a lot of people, again, it's just that it's that lack of commitment to learning a trade, as opposed to, I want instant gratification right now. Let me buy and I want a 10x. Those days will probably come back, but we've got to be smart in the meantime and be able to make money when the market goes up and goes down.
Yeah, that's it. So, you're doing what we tell in Discord is to ladder your buys, buy the dips. And, that way you're going to consolidate that trade and keep it moving and keep it in percentages and going up. So, yeah.
So what's the big thing this year? I mean, obviously we've kicked off this market run. We've definitely seen a lot more news coming out about Bitcoin. It's back in the media. It's back in the press. I get off my train here in Edgecliff each morning, and there's a big sign there from Oracle talking about blockchain. We are seeing it come back to the forefront. We haven't seen the Google Trends kick as much as what we did in 2017 when we saw the peak. So I think we've got a long way still to go. What do you think at the moment we're waiting for? Is it that we need more participants to come in? And where are they going to come from?
Yeah, so I think right now we are just starting to see that initial bull run that we saw in 2017. So this is the point that, it's pulling back and people are like, okay, am I going to buy in? Is it going to hold? Your mum and dad investors, it's pretty scary when it drops $2,000-$3,000. It's like, oh, that's all my hard-earned cash. And it's, the general media are just starting to pick that up. So once 10,000 kind of hit and we kept going, then, we heard the morning shows sort of talking about it. We've heard radio programs talking about it. So, and that's kind of what we want. I was in an elevator the other day in New York and, they're all talking about Bitcoin and I'm like, just sort of, okay, I know about this. Yeah.
I think it's changing. I mean, my view is that the next wave is going to be your 40 to 65-year-old group. They've watched they've either participated or watched through the .com era. They watched it. They know what a bubble looks like. They didn't want to buy in 2017. They're a bit more emotionally stable, so they didn't FOMO in. Then they watched it fall all the way back. Now they're watching it rise again. Out of the top 5 companies in the world by market cap, 3 of them are technology. 3 of them need the internet to work. They can see that these are times where money can be made. They haven't bought the bottom. They didn't want to buy the top. Now we've got that middle position at the moment where I think that the education, also the legitimacy with Facebook, with Goldman Sachs, with Fidelity, with the CME group, their futures are increasing, which obviously means more institutional players are coming in. I think it's a perfect storm for a back end of the year to be really, really positive. But again, I have been wrong before and I will be wrong again. This is Bitcoin. This is cryptocurrency and it will do whatever the hell it wants to do, right?
Exactly. Right now, Elliott Wave supports 30,000. I put a chart out and many outlets are picking that up. So, considering where it is now, if we don't break key ranges, if we don't kind of break, down past 8,800, I truly think we're going to hold 10,000. I truly think we're going to hold this region now. So, if those sort of areas hold, then 30,000 is on the cards. And, I sort of, maybe not December this year, but, mid-May next year.
Okay.
And that's when halvening's happening. So at that point, I think we should be nearing the 30,000 mark.
Well, I hope you're wrong, and I hope it goes straight through to 60. But,
Well, that'd be amazing. If the mega FOMO kicks in and we hit 60, it's like, we can all retire.
Exactly. Hopefully before then. But look, the interesting thing is, again, like I said before, that Lisa and I trade very, very different styles. But funnily enough, I'm looking at Bitcoin now on the daily chart, and it's back into that cradle zone that I like to trade from. Now, I'm not long Bitcoin right now, other than the Bitcoin that I hold. I got no margin long on anything right now. But interesting how two people with two different styles can come together and be effectively saying something very, very similar with two totally different trading styles. And that's why I like to talk with you, Lisa, because you've got a different perspective. I am somebody who talks to my people all the time and shows them what I'm doing. But there's more than one way to skin a cat. So where do people find more information about what you do?
They can find me on Twitter. So Lisa N. Edwards.
They can N for Nelly.
N, yeah. So put that in there. You can find me in the Discord at Satoshi Sisters. So if you go into Discord and you search that, there's a link on my Twitter as well. And you can head to satoshisistersdiscord.com and there's a link there. So that's my business with my daughter. So not actually my sister. So we've got some educational stuff in there. We do some signals, and we've got a forum with lots and lots of crazy like-minded people. So it's lots of fun.
Perfect. Well, guys, go and check it all out. See if it floats your boat. If it's what you want to do, go do it. If not, hey, stick around. But it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, Lisa. Once again, we'll speak down the track, and I wish you all the best going forward.
Amazing. Yeah, you too. Amazing to have me here. And thank you again.
No worries. We'll do it more. Have a great
day. See you.
Ladies and gentlemen, bye for now. This show is proudly sponsored by TraderCobb.com, the leaders in checklist-based trading strategy. Yes, that's exactly how it sounds. I'll teach you a literal checklist so you can tick off items and be decisive very quickly. Get across to TraderCobb.com, where there's a bunch of free content there for you to have a look at. And of course, if you're interested in having me come to your city, click and register for the live events coming up and filling fast. Have a great day. Visit TraderCobb.com now.